Seb, I want to ask you the same question I just started with Kylie. 9 straight unbeaten, 5 straight wins, or 6 straight wins at this point. But the defense has been phenomenal in that span and hasn't gotten much love. Can you maybe speak to the performances they've been putting up?
Yeah, I think when you say defence, you're talking about the whole team, because the work that everyone's doing to keep the clean sheet is unbelievable. You know, it starts from the front, and having the structure and the organisation from the front and reading those triggers, and obviously you talk about midfield and then the back line. And goalkeeper, you know, it's a real togetherness to keep the ball out of the net. You know, BFC causes a lot of problems in the second half. They started to add more numbers into their attack. I thought the defenders did a terrific job overall of not really BFC creating a lot of goal scoring opportunities. But yeah, it's a full team effort, and you know, it's nice to come away with another 1-0 win and 3 points.
Good, Austin?
So just kind of talking about the clean sheet, 4 of your 9 games so far this season have been scoreless results. How much do you take pride in that? And for the team, I know obviously from you as a former defender, it's a bigger deal, but just building off of that defensive presence for this team and you know, continuing that momentum.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all take a lot of pride in it. I do like goals as well. I do like us being up more than 1 goal in a game, and I think early on in the game, and especially in the first half, I think we could have scored a lot more goals and made it a lot more you know, challenging for BFC to feel like they could get back into the game. But yeah, it's a collective effort. You know, everyone has to play the part. If they don't do their job, it becomes an easier decision for me to not allow those players to play. But you know, they're very much bought into the culture and the structure and the physicality of what it takes to win a game of football, especially in this league, because it's so physically demanding.
Sean?
During this win streak, we've seen the team win in different ways. We saw the high-scoring game in Washington. We also saw the opposition having more possession. Today, you had more possession. Can you talk about the team's ability to win in those different ways?
I think it allows us to be somewhat unpredictable. You know, I think, you know, going back to North Carolina game, it was very much a transition type of game. You know, being defensively solid to then transition, and whether it's, you know, half a field or a full field transition, we always feel like we can be threatening in the attack. And so we can add that to our game. We can add, you know, build-up play and causing problems by our build-up if a team sits off us and we find the areas to exploit. And so it's a great mix of being adaptable to what the game gives you. Every team is difficult, you know. We were talking about that before the game. This is a tough game for us because, you know, it can just change in an instant. You know, you look at BFC's recent record leading up to the game. I use the term trap game, and it could have been that. It could have been one of those games where it doesn't go your way, and you know, they go the other end and win 1-0. And so we had to make sure that the players are fully switched on to know what their task is and going into the game. And so they fully executed. Of course, you know, we would love to have gone up in the game by more than 1 goal, but it wasn't meant to be. But then, you know, see the determination towards the end to get it over the line. It means a lot to all of us.
Awesome.
Kind of going off of that offensive performance, I mean, 10 of your 25 shots were on target. Took a heroic performance from Caitlin Rowland to keep you off the score sheet multiple times. But going back to the performances from last year, where you had 1 or 2 shots on target per game, and now you're having 10.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big jump. Just can you talk a little bit about the performance from this team, just being able to get shots on target and be more threatening this season?
Yeah, and I think it just comes from different areas. I think it's not only the nines or the wingers. It's coming from, you know, midfielders. It's coming from fullbacks. It's coming from, you know, even set pieces. You we're trying to score from multiple areas, and I think that's really important for our success moving forward within the league. It may come down to a set piece. I still think we can probably score a little bit more from those areas, but we are making it difficult for the opponent to defend us. And again, we can't just rely on our nines to come up with the goals. It has to come from other areas. And you look at the most successful teams, it's not just reliant on their strikers. It's from their midfielders and the wingers and the fullbacks. Everyone has to play a part in the attack, and that's been the message from us very, very much from the start of the season.
Anything else? Going?
So obviously a lot of attacking talent on the team and some personnel changes, coming into the season. How do you balance, figuring out where everybody's going? Like where do you take the team from here? Obviously a lot of success, but 25 shots, just a single goal, 10 on target as mentioned. What's the plan going into next week offensively to try to cash in a little bit more?
Yeah, I think we'll obviously reflect and review, and it may come down to a few more decision making, execution in the final third. But we're getting in the right areas. We're getting in good positive positions, and I'd have more concern if we weren't doing that, rather than us getting in those positions and not finding the back of the net. Listen, the goalkeeper played well today and could arguably be the player of the match, but we'll reflect and we'll look back and we'll continue to work on those things. And there's a lot of competition within this group of players as well. Today, Adri gets the start. Ali comes off the bench. Next week it might look different, and so it's nice to have that flexibility within the squad to find different ways to beat a team. And so that adds to us being a little bit more unpredictable than maybe recent years where other teams could probably figure out what the starting lineup was going to be moving forward.
Go ahead, Austin.
Just talking about the tactical flexibility of this team. We've already talked about personnel and how you enjoy the fact that you have players that can play multiple positions, but being able to play in different shapes and formations and being all on the same page in terms of who's moving up, who's moving back, and just the kind of natural progression of where players are going to be. How tough is that just as a coach to be able to get from where you start at the beginning of the season and preseason and really drill that into the team so that they can have those moments of connecting passes without even really having to think, just knowing where people are?
Yeah, we really talked about building those relationships, and preseason allowed us to do that. We went on a preseason camp, and allowing the players to get to know each other, and I think that really transfers onto the field. We also like to set players up for success, and so today we felt it's a hard decision not to start Ali Watt because she's been playing well, but going into this game we felt playing Adri and Summer as two attacking midfielders with the support with Morgan and Haley underneath, with leaving Barbara as the lone nine. We felt that was the best way to exploit BFC today. I thought in the first half we did that really well. They adjusted to it, and there'll probably be other games where we feel we'll play Ali Watt and Barbara as two nines, and that's the joy of me being in this position, because we have the flexibility and the players who are able to execute in those moments and allowing them to play to their strengths in those different positions.
We'll wrap up there. Thank you, Seb.
Thank you. Just want to say a happy Mother's Day for tomorrow as well. Thank you.